Mm-hmm. What is going on, everybody? As you can see, it's just me tonight. Roger texted me earlier today, and I do not feel sorry for him at all. He is in Alabama, hanging out and fishing with Doc Lang. So how do you like that? I'm 90% happy for him, 10% jealous, or maybe 70-30, something like that. Not sure, but either way, he is hanging with Doc Lang. Wouldn't doubt if they're listening to the show right now. Shout out to Doc. We all love you. Hope y'all have a good time, fellas. So, before we get started, as always, we're going to go through chat, see who's in the house. The first one I see in the house is Stonefly71. What's going on, brother? I see Sampy. How you doing? Real Beast. Pat. What's going on, brother? See Mr. James Kirkpatrick. Uncle Jeep. Everybody's favorite troll. Team Better Cheddar. You know I love it. Real Gals. How is the queen tonight? I always have to ask, right? I see Miss Chrissy Brown. I see Mr. Maurice Cason in the house. Well, chat's flying now. Fishing for Whiskers. Let's see. Wildcat Rigs. I know who that is. That is Mr. Josh with Down East Tackle, in case y'all didn't know. Started a new YouTube channel specifically for the Wildcat Catfish Rigs. Y'all check it out. Gray's Family Fishing. What's going on? It jumped on me again. It's crazy. Silver Fox Fishing. Miss Sandy. What's going on? Fishing and Freedom. What's happening, Richard? Let's see. Coming on down, I see Bob Cat. You might recognize his hat, Bob Cat. I kind of stole it from Gabe tonight. Not gonna lie, no shame whatsoever. So what's up, Bob Cat? And another bumping brother of mine, Mr. Mike Greenwell Fishing. What's happening, my friend? Let's see. I see Mr. Tim Molina is in the house. Freddie, my brother. What's going on, Freddie? Let's see. Fishing with the Squirrel. What's going on, my friend? I see Mr. Dale Hayslip is in the house. See, that's all I need to know. The queen is doing wonderful tonight. That's it. It's going to be a good night tonight, fellas. It's going to be a good night. I see, let's see. It keeps jumping on me. Y'all have to forgive me for this. I see Miss Amy Evans. What's going on, Miss Amy? Catfishing Dreams. Brandon, what's happening, my friend? Yes, I know I said Mr. Maurice Cason, but you know what? I'll say his name again. It's worth it. What's going on, Maurice? Fat Boy Eric. What's going on, brother? Team Better Cheddar. You know it. Let's see. Who else we got in the house? Well, jumped on me again. I'm trying not to miss anybody. Want to shout everybody. Everybody takes their time to come in the show. Want to shout them out. It's an appointment. Jimmy Geiger. I'm going to say Geiger. Hopefully I said that right. Forgive me if I completely butchered your last name. I took a shot at it there. Want to be outdoors. Matt, what's going on, brother? Let's see. Scrolling on there, a lot of people in the house already. 35 in the house already. Wow. Gonna be a good show tonight. Pennsylvania, Catfish Seat, what's going on? Brandon, Catfishing Dreams with a $5. So solo rolling. Hey, we solo rolling. We go make this y'all show tonight. That's what we're gonna do, because you know why? Because I didn't have a plan. So we're gonna make this y'all show. Whatever y'all want to talk about, that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. Y'all want to talk about the hot weather? That's what we'll do. You want to talk about nobody catching fish? That's what we're going to do. Trophy Seekers. Daryl, what's going on? Had some really good feedback from a lot of people about y'all meetup in Tennessee. Everybody had a good time. PBs were busted. Fish were caught. Food was eaten. I heard it was a great time. So awesome for y'all. And hopefully that'll be an annual thing from here on out. Might be a good excuse to get my wife back to Tennessee on a vacation. You know what I mean? Quiet Man Curtis, what is happening? Let's see. Am I getting to the bottom? Nope, not yet. Sean T, my Louisiana brother from Mississippi. What is happening, my friend? Danimal. What is going on, Danimal? Catfish Bandit, yes. That's what we're doing. We're going to roll with it. We're going to roll with it today. Mr. Robert Linton in the house. What's happening? Let's see. 6. Yes. See, that's what I was talking about. 6 PBs were busted. 6 PBs were busted at that get together. That is awesome right there. You can't ask for any better than that. The other half of the dream team, Mr. Woody. What's happening? Let's see. Still going down this chat. Still trying to get to everybody. This is awesome. We got a good little crowd tonight. We got a good big crowd tonight. Don R. Mr. Don, what's happening? Thank you for joining in the show with us tonight. I think I'm almost getting to the end. I know I saw 351 Cleveland in there somewhere. One of my favorite YouTube names. I know I saw you. Yeah, there you are. See? Mike G already has a suggestion. Let's talk about fishing high water or fast current if you're not using the bumping technique. We can definitely touch on that because that happens to be something I do a lot of, actually. War Pig Catfishing. What's going on, brother? Justin's Fishing Fetish. What's happening, man? Good to see you in the chat. Finally in the new house. Got time to start fishing. Well, hey, we definitely need to hook up on that one. It has been way, way, way too long. Danny Stone, one of the Mississippi River Rats. What's going on, my brother? JTC, Jeremy's Tournament Cats. What's going on? Still trying to get to the bottom of this list. This is crazy. We're going to have a good crowd tonight. No pressure on me at all. None. Hopefully I do Roger proud. Ace, what's going on, my friend? I see you in there. Let's see, guys. I think we're getting close. I think Mad Catter. Last but not least, Mad Catter Catfishing. What's going on? So, all right. So we'll kick it off with this. Mike had a question about fast current, high water. Usually those two things go hand in hand. At least for me, they do. When the water is high, that means the water is fast. I don't get one without the other. So you're not bumping. For some reason, bumping is not an option. You don't have a bumping rod. Maybe you're not comfortable bumping, whatever the case be. How do you handle high and fast water if you're not bumping? Now, I can only go by what I do in a case like that, okay? And it is something that we do a lot of. So first you have to decide if you want to try to place baits in the fast water. Mike Urban, what's going on, brother? I see you in the house. Yeah, see, Bobcat, that's I know. Trust me, I know. Why would we not bump? It's always a good, but hey, that's the task at hand, and we're going to try to tackle it. So we're going to try. LG, what's going on, brother? And I see Kentucky Catman Outdoors. Still got people coming in the house. I love it. Okay, so like this. Okay, first thing you got to decide is, where are the fish? Are they in the fast current? Usually, this is what I encounter, okay? Usually what happens when I've got high water, fast currents, the fish are doing one of two things. Either they're tucked up behind, okay, you got a hump, okay? You got a hump. And usually the fish are tucked up behind the hump, trying to get out of the fast current, okay? So that's option number one. Chad, what's going on, brother? And I also see Stonefly 71 popped in the house while we were talking. So the fish are either tucked up behind humps, don't have to be big ones, but they can be tucked up just behind a hump, getting out of that fast water. Or if you have a current seam with a bank cut in, a place where the bank tucks in, pulls in a little bit, you're going to have a current seam with some slower water. Possibly those fish are just outside of that fast current in that slower water, sometimes a couple of feet from the current seam from the fast water. I've seen both situations happen. Now, First situation is with the little humps and the fish are tucking behind. Would it be an excellent situation to bump? Yes, it would be. But what I've done many times before I ever figured out how to bump, I would go along and I would mark on my sonar all of these humps and where they are. Simply throw my anchor, get set up, and back up my boat to where I'm a decent casting distance to one of those humps. And y'all see me do this a lot. I'll throw a rod out and you'll see me like this, but with my anchoring rods. What I'm doing, I've thrown to the top of a hump or a ledge or whatever it may be. And what I'm doing, I'm literally bumping. I'm letting that rig slide and I'm feeling it go down that hump to try to get it down in the base where those fish are tucked up at. I've got really good luck doing that, especially on big ledges or big humps. I can really get those baits down in there to them. Great tactic for colder weather, colder water, where the fish really aren't active enough, in my opinion, to try to bump them. Okay. So that's one scenario right there. Second scenario is they're next to the current seam, but just outside of that fast water. Same situation. You've got to anchor your boat in the faster water, because if you try to anchor your boat in the seam or just towards the slow water, back of the boat is going to do this. It's going to move around. You got to put your boat in the current to try to hold it straight. Drift socks on the fast side of the boat help in that situation. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to throw rods. This is your current seam here. You've got slow water and you got fast water. You want to throw rods into the slow water, still current, but slower, and have them pull towards that current seam. That'll help you figure out exactly where those fish are staged up, because those fish just aren't going to be in that fast current. They're not going to be, because usually what happens is as the water is rising, that means there's a lot of trash coming down the river also. They're not just hiding from the current, the fast water. They're hiding from all that trash coming at them. And what Mike Greenwell said right here, shallow inside bends. That's another good key area for fish to find slower water and cleaner water. I know in my case, it usually comes down to more of where the clean water is versus where the slow water, but they go hand in hand. So you kind of have to pick apart your situation and say, okay, what do I have to work with here? Do I have an inside bend to work with where I can try to find these fish? Or do I have a big current seam or a bank cut in where they can also find slower, cleaner water? Do I have humps in the bottom they can get behind? Reading that river is going to tell you a lot. Along with using your electronics, you will be able to figure out where they are staging. And speaking, I highlighted the wrong comment. Speaking of which, at B-Dubs with Doc and the gang, Kane here wanted to say hi. Thanks for stopping in. Well, Roger, we hope you have a good time. We're all just a little bit jealous. Say hey to Doc for us. We want big fish pictures. That'll make up for your absence tonight. Big fish pictures. Really big ones. And speaking of really big fish, let me back up here just a little bit. I see Miss Pontoon Jody. Big fish broke her PB. She is officially in the 50-pound club now. So congrats on that. 51, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It looked like a 70 with you holding it. Not gonna lie, that fish looked huge. I love pictures where big fish look even bigger than what they really are because the angle is just right. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I think this year I know this year for us, okay, look, up and down. River's been up and down. River's been up and down. Every time the river comes up, it puts trash in it. It puts dirty water. We've found ourselves all spring trying to figure out where the clean water is. Now I'm fortunate in my case. I've got a very bendy river. I don't have much straight shots in my river. There's curves everywhere. I've got bank cut-ins. I've got humps they can get behind. I also have 3 dams that I can pick from that normally one of them has got some cleaner water coming through it. Because I will say this, the way that most dams are designed, it's much harder for the trash to come through them as the water's coming up. They tend to let out a little cleaner water than maybe what's coming down the river itself. Now, like I said, my situation is different because I've got big rivers feeding in from different directions. I've got trashy water coming down one river, but I've got clean water coming from another. And sometimes that situation swaps. You know, if you're fishing any kind of a confluence where you've got different bodies of water coming into each other, you kind of have to see which one is carrying the dirty water, which one carrying the clean water. And it kind of brings up another point of mud lines. A mud line physically is, and you can see it on the water, where you've got dirty water mixing with cleaner water. And depending on current speeds coming together, it'll make a pretty nice actual line. You can physically see it in the water. Mud lines are great places to hold bait. And if it holds bait, it holds fish. I've had really, really good luck, not only catching fish in mud lines, but I've done really good catching slicker in mud lines, skipjack. For those people who don't have a dam to go to, but you do have them in your waters, try a mud line. A good solid mud line with a good current seam in it, you'd be surprised, because what they do, and as commercial fishermen taught me this, what they do, they actually hang just inside that dirty water and they ambush bait in the clean water. They just shoot out and hit them. So if you're throwing your little jigs just inside of the clean water, maybe a foot, and you're dragging it along right with the mud line, don't be surprised to catch some slicker that way. Yep, see, that's exactly what I was talking about. They love the mud line because naturally the mud line is going to be where the current seam is. The two go hand in hand. But they do. If you don't have a dam to go to catch them, that's a really good spot to go. In fact, I can't think of how long ago he posted it, but Quentin with Catfish Karma posted a great video of him doing just that exact same thing. No dam to go to. In fact, I want to say it was during the winter or early spring. Found a big mud line and caught him a lot of fresh slicker just right there in that inside of a mud line. In fact, that's one of the places I got that tip from besides the commercial fishermen. It's a really good thing. But those of us that fish the rivers, we kind of understand that from week to week, heck, from day to day, the river changes, the clarity changes, heck, the river stage changes these days. Like every day something's going on. Everything changes so much, and you've got to pay attention to all these things going on. And after spending time on the water, you start to learn those little patterns of, okay, the river's doing this, so the fish should be doing this. Now, is it exact? Of course not, because then we'd be able to catch fish anytime we want. But you pay attention to the conditions, pay attention to where you found fish under those conditions. It doesn't take long for a pattern to start to develop. And that's a lot of what, taught us how to find these blues in our river was paying attention to these patterns. I've seen a couple of more people come in chat that I may have missed. I see OG73. I see Mr. Paul Boyd. What's happening? What's going on, Kevin? Couldn't catch y'all show tonight, bub. I slid in the back door of the house, minutes before the show started. Didn't have much of a time to watch anything else. I'll have to listen to that show maybe on the way to work tomorrow. Well, honey, you just popped in chat. So no, I did not miss you. I was just getting to you. Thank you very much. See, that's your first chat, and I didn't miss you. But hey, you know what? She's keeping me on my toes. I appreciate that. I really do. Let's see. Twisted Fishing TV. What's going on? Yeah, and that's a good statement right there. Replicate the pattern till it changes. Find the new pattern. Repeat. After a while, you're going to have this memory bank, or if you're really good, you'll have it written down, which I really should be doing. You'll have this memory bank of different patterns, like this, caught fish, this, caught fish. After a while, you'll be able to refer back and say, okay, I got this going on. Fish should be here. After years of doing this on our river, we're still figuring out patterns. Because like I said, I wasn't a trophy catfisherman until 3 years ago. So I'm having to relearn everything I thought I knew about how to catch catfish. So it's a learning experience. Let me tell you, it really is. Sunfish Assassin. I know I saw your name in here, and then it jumped on me. But what's going on, brother? Good to have you in the house. Mr. Chris Wright, what's going on? Well, I know. You're in the next room. I know. And we have thin walls. You probably hear everything I'm saying. Yeah, Jody's a hoot. She really is. She's a hoot. And she's on the fish now. She's on the fish, getting things figured out. I like it. And guys, my mom is in the house. So shout out to mom. What's going on? If mom's in the house, that means dad is sitting in the recliner watching this on the big screen, possibly enjoying an adult beverage. Possibly. He probably is. Rod Knockers, what's going on? Yep, flying solo tonight. Roger has the honor of hanging out and fishing with Doc Lang. Yeah, I would have ditched me too. Nah, he texted me way earlier today, asked me if I want to do this solo. I'm like, dude, I got this. I can talk for days on end. I could guarantee you I can do it for an hour. No problem. John Boy, what's going on? One of my fellow Louisianians, or however in the world you say that. North Louisiana. How do you stay cool in Louisiana in June? You don't show up. It's gonna be hot, Justin. Not gonna lie, it's gonna be hot. Humidity is going to be up here. That's what makes it so hot, is the humidity. The problem is, with as high a humidity as we have in our area, the way the body cools you off is you sweat. The sweat evaporates. That takes the heat with it. You sweat more, it evaporates more, so on and so on. Well, the problem is when you approach 100% humidity, 90, 100% humidity like we have most of the year, the sweat doesn't evaporate. You just stay wet the whole time. And the problem with that is it is not dissipating the heat anymore. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Now, what the temperatures are going to be, I'm not really sure. They're going to be in the 90s this week. It could cool off next week. I don't know. But lots of fluids, electrolytes. If you can be in the shade, be in the shade. Loose clothing, thin clothing. Wear a hat. Keep the sun off your head. all things to consider. But yeah, the humidity. If you have not experienced it before, yeah, it is. It's killer. It is. It really is. We live here, and we don't like it. So take that for what it is. Kentucky Redneck Outdoors. What's going on, man? Yeah, she's not wrong. She's not. I mean, she's not wrong. I would argue with her and say something, but she's not wrong. Miss Michelle, what is going on? I see you in there. Sunglasses. So you get your sunglasses and just wear them all the time like I do, and you have coon eyes just like me. But hey, keeps sun out of my eyes. Justin, yeah, possibly. And I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but y'all are going to New Orleans where there's a lot of pavement and concrete. It makes it even worse. I hate to tell you that it makes it even worse. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be real with you. It's gonna be hot, buddy. It is definitely gonna be hot. We got lucky the past 2 years, and June wasn't as bad. This year, yeah, it ain't gonna be like that this year. Travis Young, what is going on? Yeah, then you get this. That's right. That's just how it is. That's a good one right there. Some of your shoes start to melt. Be ready. Hey, I found out the hard way when we were fishing live this past weekend. It's getting to that time of year where the decks of my boats that aren't covered by the bimini top, you can't kneel down on it. Like it literally just about burnt my knee. The deck of the boat was so hot. So it's getting to be that time of year. We're gonna have to do something about that one of these days. And yes, Gold Bond is your friend. David, you know what's up. Twisted, I'm not gonna highlight that comment, but yeah, you are correct. I'm not gonna highlight it, I'm just gonna let it roll. But yeah. I do work, Danimal. Thank you very much. Even though I am a safety guy, yes, I do work. I will have you. I was in a dozer all day today. Thank you very much. I do work sometimes, 50%. See, none of the people I work with watch this, including my boss. So I can say that 50%, I'll say, on the whole work thing. So anyway. So I guess unless somebody has another direction we want to go with, let's see. Oh, I actually did see a good comment. Let's see. Still get excited learning subtle fish holding spots at different river stages, current flow breakers, etc. Yes, that is one of the big things I'll talk about with learning how to read that river. If you spend enough time on it, in the ups and downs, literally, you start seeing things that you didn't know were there, and you get to see how the water reacts to them at different stages, which is, and y'all have seen me do it live a few times already. That's why I always press on Google Earth Pro on the computers, free download, because it allows you to see the river from a desk at those different stages. And you can kind of look, let's say you want to look at an area you've never been before, or even an area you fished a lot and just want to learn more about it. You click back on that timeline and it'll show you different satellite images taken at different times, and you get to see it at different levels. And you'd be surprised what you'll learn about your river switching back that map and putting different images. That way you can see what's going on. But like you said, you cannot replace being out on the water and actually seeing it for yourself. store a lot of waypoints for, especially this past year. I know we had an opportunity that we don't normally get. The river was the lowest it's been in a very long time this past summer and fall. So it kind of gave me the chance to get out there and see things that normally aren't sticking out of the water. And it was a great thing to get to see, because there was a couple of spots, especially on the main channel, Mississippi, that I've fished before, but didn't quite understand what was going on. Yeah, take 30 feet of water out of the equation, and you get to see quite a bit. Sorry, hit my mic. Got excited. You get to see quite a bit of what's going on. Being able to fish ahead or behind the spawn on the river. Yeah, see, unfortunately for me, I might be ahead of it, but not by much. I really think the fish, I think some of them are already starting to spawn. I think I'm going to get into it early this year. Nothing I can do about it. Just have to deal with it. I cannot speak for Yellow Cat and channels, but Twisted, I can speak for blues, definitely. I have not done it myself, but one of my best friends, they go down to a place in South Louisiana called Bayou Manchac, which is, brackish water. They catch redfish, specks. This is marsh in South Louisiana, below New Orleans. And they catch monster blues down there on soft shell crabs and shrimp for bait. Yep. So a blue can tolerate some pretty extreme brackish water, apparently, because he keeps telling me that we need to go down there because the blues are even bigger and that they're fun to catch on, well, basically saltwater baits, big shrimp and soft shell crabs. Go figure. But that apparently they'll tolerate quite a bit, and they not only can they tolerate it, but they thrive in it. They love it. At what point is it too much for them? I'm not sure, but that's extremely brackish water down there, and they do it no problem at all. Kelly Book, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, and Twisted, actually, when the river's really low and the current slows down a lot here, now in the Atchafalaya, because it's closer to the Gulf. Wait, let me rephrase that. The mouth of the Atchafalaya at the Gulf of Mexico is closer than it is in the Mississippi in the same point. I'm only 150 miles from the Gulf by way of the Atchafalaya. I'm 330 by way of the Mississippi from the same latitude, let's say. And I know for a fact our water gets brackish enough to attract blue crabs, speckled trout on a very rare occasion, flounder on some rare occasions. They do come up 150 miles that far. I have caught gaff top catfish during the middle of the summer and early fall where we fish at. So even 150 miles inland, we still have a little brackish water, just enough to attract a few saltwater species, I guess, that'll tolerate both. Heck, we have bull sharks that, there's a few every year that get caught in the river right here by the house. Usually commercial fishermen, they get caught up in a hoop net or something. But we have them. Now, okay, I've always been confused about this. I know about the gaff tops, but I think the hard heads, I think that's a different species. Correct me if I'm wrong, because to me the gaff tops, they look like a little blue and they fight just like a little blue. It's extremely hard to tell the difference actually until you get them. So pretty much you get them in the boat. They just don't get nearly as big as a blue. It looks like a dink blue. The biggest one I've caught was maybe, I don't know, 4 pounds, something like that. But I believe they're actually different species. I've never been saltwater fishing, because I don't, as close as I am to the Gulf, you think I would have, but not yet. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, mom is reminding me about this. They did catch a stingray at one of my fishing spots last year. That was a friend of a friend of my dad. He had sent us the pictures and everything. But yes, they did catch a stingray right here, right here by my house, 150 miles from the 150 miles from the Gulf. Gaff tops good, hard heads bad. That's all I need to know. I've never tried to eat a gaff top. They look like a blue, so I imagine they taste like a blue. I don't know. I never could bring myself to keep one and cut it up. It's a pretty fish, I find anyway. Hardhead is a species of saltwater catfish. Um, I can't give a good description of what one looks like. I've never caught one. Kind of like an uglier channel cat, maybe, if that's even possible. Brownish color, something like that. Matt, one of these days it's gonna happen. I don't know if bull sharks feed on bottom. I think bull sharks feed more in the upper part of the water column, which is maybe why we're not going to catch one, but maybe we might do it on purpose. Because I had someone send me some awfully big old nasty hooks, and you know what? They might get put to use for just such a thing. You never know. You never know. Because I would hate to think there is something in that river that I can't catch. So these could very well get put to use. I know my dad wants to use these so bad just to say we did. So you never know. One of these on one of these. Maybe. Might just happen. Let's see. I have no idea, Uncle Jeep. I have no clue. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no. I don't think I need tags or anything for that. But being you asked the question, it does make me curious. It does. Now you've got me curious. Yeah, I may have to call up an old I may have to call up an old high school friend and ask him that question. You never know. Okay, what we got? What you got, Danimal? As a bank fisherman, rivers around here have very limited access. What would you look for before setting up, or just try where you can get to? That's a constant problem that y'all fight. Again, I'm going to go back to Google Earth. Google Earth is your best friend, because if you can't get there, then nothing else matters. Okay. It doesn't matter how good the spot is and how likely you are to catch fish. If you can't access it to fish off the bank, then nothing else matters at that point. So I would say, access is first. You've got to look for every possible spot that you can access. Then from there, you can start sorting out which ones are better than others. I would say my ideal bank location, if I had to pick one, would be on a outside bend of a river where I've got some kind of inlet coming in, like some kind of, we call them bayous here, but creek, some type of other body of water coming into it, where you've got a little point or an inlet of some kind. And ideally you would want to be just on the upstream side of that inlet. That would be ideal. Now, depending on what you can get to, you can start taking away different options. But let's just say all you've got is a straight section of river, and just that's it. You have nothing else to work with but a bank. You're still okay if you can get your rods out far enough. That way the current or whatever you're dealing with can sweep your baits against that main channel ledge. That bottom of that slope. I know us here, we call that the toe of the slope. If you can get your baits right on that toe of that slope, remember that's your highways. Now, that depends on fish moving. Fish have to be moving for that plan to work. And I think most bank fishermen, that's what you're dealing with. You're highly dependent on fish being mobile, and you're putting baits in their path of travel. Kind of like deer hunting. You have to set up your stand in the places where the deer travel. That way they pass by you. Same thing with that. You've got to, if you can put it in the travel lane, then you're okay. So if nothing else, if you can figure out where that ledge is, haul them baits out there, let the current sweep it against the ledge, then you're okay. But some kind of inlet, some kind of point, something like that, if you happen to get just upstream of maybe a big fallen tree, big fallen logs, just upstream of any kind of structure or feature, that would be ideal in my book. Because if I were in my boat, that's where I'd be anchoring up, is just upstream of whatever feature you've got to work with. Let's see. I think I missed a few comments. I'm getting a little behind. Big old piece of bloody beef on that hook, free line straight down in the water, and bull shark give you, you give me ideas, Kevin. You really are giving me ideas. I like where this conversation is going. I do. I really like where it's going. I know Dad's listening to this, sitting in his recliner, and the wheels are turning. I'll probably get a phone call about 5 minutes after we go off live. Yeah, I'll be waiting for that phone to ring. Let's see. I'm missing comments. Okay, here we go. All Louisiana state water seaward to the Gulf boundary of the Louisiana Territorial Sea shall be closed to the recreational and commercial harvest and possession of sharks between April 1st and June 30th. So, sounds to me that as of this moment, I cannot harvest and I cannot possess a shark. But I can catch and release one, right? I can CPR a shark, right? As long as I ain't trying to keep it. Between April 1st and June 30th. After June 30th, now why in the world I'd want to keep a bull shark, I have no idea. I don't know. Because one thing, I ain't lipping it. That's for sure. That ain't happening. I'd just love to get one on the end of a line, just to say I did. For no other reason than that. Just to say, hey, I caught a shark. That's I caught a shark, or you're not supposed to catch a shark. That's what's in my head. But good information. I will definitely target sharks in Florida. You have to take an online course. Wow. Copy. Hey, you found it. You found it. You did better than me. Hey, that it could happen. It could happen. Well, look, it's an intersection. That's all it is. An intersection of something. Look, even sometimes if it's a little ditch that just, that when it rains, it drains into the river. If you can figure out the times, like let's say a day or so after a rain, and that ditch is dumping in the river, those are decent spots. I tell you, I've caught fish like that, because we've got a lot of farmland around here, and we've got a lot of the big fields that after a really big rain, they'll dump a lot of water in. It's almost like a canal that comes into the river. You can almost put a boat in them. They're that big, but after these rains, when the water's coming out of there, I've caught fish at those spots. I have. Never anything really big, mind you, not yet, but I've caught quality fish in in those spots, without a doubt. Sam P, what's going on, brother? I don't remember if I told you hi or not, but by God, I'm going to tell you hi again. But it seemed, we had a couple of good topics so far, but it all revolves around the same thing. If you spend enough time in your area and you get an understanding of what is going on at certain times, then you go a long way of figuring out where you want to go fishing. I find my area is very complicated because I've got a lot of factors that I have to deal with. I've got 3 different river stages I have to watch. I have 3 different dams that affect what's going on. I've got multiple little lakes and bayous that dump in this thing after a big rain. I've got all these things that we're watching to try to figure out maybe where we might want to go fishing. And it gets complicated sometimes. It really does. But the more you pay attention, the better you'll get at it. Jerry, what's going on, brother? And speaking of big fish, another big fish that got caught within the past, couple weeks window here has been a little over a week now. An 85, Jerry, off the end of that wing dike. I believe it was an 85. I know it was in the 80s. Way bigger than anything I've ever caught. Yeah, love big fish. Love big fish. Love big fish. I'm going to find out those sharks each give to, hey, they might. Well, our alligator gar love those big gray mullet that we have in the river. So I wouldn't doubt if those sharks are chasing those too. Sean, it is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. Trust me, it's not a bad problem to have. It's a lot of information, and it seems like I've never fished the same situation twice because of that. Something's always different, So it's a little more of a chore to get the pattern together. It says bull shark is better eating than gar. Now that you'd have a hard time convincing me of that one, because I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love alligator gar. That is my absolute favorite freshwater fish to eat, hands down, no contest. You would have an awfully hard time convincing me, but that also sounds like a challenge. So, yeah. If the catfishing gets boring, I need to find out what is the best time to target bull sharks in our river. I'm thinking it's when that water gets really low, late summer, because usually that's when they get seen. We have to holler at some commercial fishermen about it, because they're always the ones that see them. We have to holler at them and see what's going on. Before we run out of time, I know we can run for as long as we want, but 10 minutes left in the hour. A couple of announcements I want to make. Number one, first and foremost, this coming Saturday, don't remember the date, but this coming Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Time, Mississippi River Rats live fishing show, episode 2, is going to be on this channel right here, Creole Catfishing channel. Is going to be me. It's going to be Danny. I believe Jerry should be joining us. Hopefully Richard can join us. And we are going to have a good old time. And I know for a fact I will be fishing during our show. In fact, I think I finally decided where I'm going to be fishing. Very interesting spot. Very interesting history to the spot. May go over a little bit of that. Hopefully, I'll be too busy catching fish to be worried about going over the history. Hopefully, but we'll see. But we will be fishing. So that is announcement number 1. Announcement number 2. I have not decided on a time just yet. I will schedule it ahead of time. but the Creole Catfishing 1K giveaway will be this Sunday. I'm going to say during the afternoon, some point, maybe 2, 3, 4 o'clock, something like that. Let everybody wake up from their Sunday nap. You know how that is. Yeah, Matt, I heard my phone go off. Yes, I will definitely take a look at that article. We will be doing our 1K giveaway. I got some cool stuff to give away. Louisiana cooking prize pack we're going to give away. I got a whole bunch of stickers we're going to give away. I've got got a couple of rigs from Down East Tackle we're going to go ahead and give away. Winner's choice of a Piscifun Chaos bait caster or a carnivore spinning reel. So whether you want spinning or bait casting, nobody will be left out. Winner has their choice. And top secret grand prize. It will be revealed in the giveaway. It's going to be killer. I'm telling y'all, you're not going to want to miss that. It is going to be awesome. Well, this time, Danimal, we're doing our show a little earlier in the day. We're starting it at 2 p.m. We're going to run it till 5 because immediately after our show, our own Danny Stone will be fishing in the Iron Cat. I believe he calls it the Tournament of Champions or however Palmetto named it. That starts at 5 p.m. on Saturday. So we're going to run our show just before that. Yeah, a little bit of a pregame show, as Danny called it. Mark, what is happening, Mark? Glad you could pop in on us for a little while. The rigs held up nice. They really did. I actually got one hung up in some really nasty stuff that normally when I get a rig back out of this stuff, even 80-pound leaders all tore up and I got to replace it anyway. It survived without a scratch. So I have to say, as far as being tough, they proved it. Hooks stayed extremely sharp. I was impressed with that. We are the only thing we are going to change on the rigs is the way the hooks are attached to the leader. We're going to change the way the line is run to crimp to give that circle hook a little better action. That we will make that change, but hey, that's what live field testing is all about. You make a product better and you let it roll. So that's where we're at on the rigs at this moment. But they work well. Really love the single hook rig for my purposes because current is too fast. I can't use a spook or a float to elevate my bait because it'll just pin it to the bottom anyway. The single hook is like a Kentucky rig, just with one hook. Works great for that. And I also caught 2 fish, but I caught my first fish on a Kentucky double hook rig. Never used that rig in my life. So I caught my first Kentucky double rig fish on a Wildcat rig. So that was pretty cool. It was really cool to be able to do that. I'm now a fan of the Kentucky double hook. Yeah. See, Kevin, you're not all that far away. You're closer than most. I'll say that. You're closer than most. If I could figure out a way to freeze like a whole pot, well, I bet shipping would be crazy on a big frozen pot of gumbo. Because you know how it is, Kev. We can't make a little bit. We got to make big. Shipping would be crazy. So yeah, it won't be quite that, but it'll be plenty of stuff to get you on your way to make your own. How about that? Plenty of good stuff going in that box. Big Bill, what's going on, brother? I think I missed you back in chat just a little bit ago. But what is going on? Yeah, I know, right? I don't blame you, Uncle G. You can't eat leader line and hooks. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would not recommend it at all. But guys, we talked about a little bit of everything tonight. We talked about river conditions. We talked about bank fishing spots. We talked about food. We talked about blistering Louisiana heat. We talked about a little bit of everything. And look, we are not the only state in the country that gets blistering hot and high humidity. After talking to all of y'all in chat, there's a lot of y'all that suffer the same thing as we do, just maybe not as long as we do, but y'all still suffer it. Look, it's getting that time of year. It's already hot. It's already humid down here. Guys, bring y'all some stuff to drink in the boat. Know the signs of heat stress. Everyone is different, okay? Some people stop sweating first. That's their first sign. Some people get headaches. Some people get nausea. Some people get cramps. Me personally, my first sign of heat stress is my mind. I kind of get the medicine head almost. My mind just kind of starts going on me, like a little bit of confusion and stuff. That's my first sign. I've had it before. I know that about myself. Excuse me. Know the signs. It's very, very, very important. Know these signs. Electrolytes are everything. Water is good. Water is not enough. Water is not enough. Water is not enough to keep your body conditioned when you're sweating out electrolytes. You know, that's basically what Uncle Jeep is saying right here. Salt is your best friend in a boat because of the electrolytes. You've got to have a way of putting that back in your body. Some things that I can suggest, because I've done this for a living at work for a long time. A lot of what I do and did as a safety manager for a construction company is I dealt with a lot of employees suffering from heat stress to try to, try to get them back better, to try to help them, there's more than one brand. Don't get me wrong. I'm just going to go by what I used to get. Costco sells these little packages of something called liquid IV. And basically it's like a liquid drink mix that you pour in a bottle of water, mix it up and drink it. Hey, that stuff is incredible for putting electrolytes back in your body, getting you back going. Look, Jerry's got it going on right here. Bottle of Pedialyte works wonders because it has a ton of electrolytes in it. Pedialyte actually makes, I don't want to call it a sports drink. It's not quite that, but they make something that's more really specific for that now. And look, and it works wonders. It does. Gatorade, sports drinks, they are okay as long as you're drinking them 2-to-1 with water. 2 waters, 1 Gatorade. 2 waters, 1 Gatorade. Because they got a lot of sugar in them. And sugar, if you have too much of it in the wrong situation, it can kind of put your body in a weird place. So you don't. I know there's different brands of the electrolyte mixes. I'm just familiar with the liquid IV because we used to order it by the case at the company I was with before, and we'd pass it out to everybody during the summer. But it's great stuff. Brad, what's going on, man? I hope I didn't miss you earlier in chat. Has a hydration drink now. Yeah. I personally am a huge fan of the Under Armour. I'm sorry, not Under Armour. Body Armor drinks. I'm a big fan of the Body Armor drinks for that reason right there. That reason right there, I think it's 20% of what Body Armor is coconut water. They are incredible at keeping you properly hydrated and keep the electrolytes in your system. Kind of, but they work better. Trust me. The salt tablets, that's the old way of doing it. The problem is with just straight salt tablets, your body ends up sweating them right back out again. So you kind of have to watch it with that. But these drinks now with the electrolytes and all them, there's a big focus on that now. I'm telling you, there's so many different brands, so many different ways, but know the signs. Know yourself enough and be honest with yourself enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm something's not right here. I need to do something. Don't wait till you're thirsty to drink something. Okay, you should be constantly sipping on stuff. Those of you that work outside, y'all know how to monitor urine color. Urine color is a first indication of telling you if you are starting to get in trouble or not. The more yellow and gold it gets, the worse you get. Okay, it's not good. Yeah, you see the squinchers. That's another. Yeah, that's basically another brand. Kind of what I'm talking about. Those squinchers are potent, man. They got strong flavor. I love them. They crack behind the ears. No, solo tonight. Roger, that dog, is in Alabama, living it up, fishing and hanging with Doc Lang. Yeah, can't blame him. Can't, not at all. Yeah, well, Rod and Augers apparently must be about the same age because I knew exactly what you were talking about. And Kevin, normally I would say no bananas on the boat, but that potassium in those bananas works wonders for cramps and keeping those heat cramps out of you. So eat the bananas before you go out. But they are great for that. Very, 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 very good. Yeah, well, come on, Danny. That's not good. Yeah. I would see. Yeah, you ever see a doctor about that? Well, guys, we're just a hair over an hour. I have been rattling my head off. Hour solid now. Had a really, really good time, flying solo. Roger will be back next week, so you'll have two beautiful faces to stare at instead of just me. I know, heartbreaking, I know, but hey, it is what it is. So, guys, thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. We had a great crowd tonight, great discussions. I love it. Remember, Saturday, 2 p.m., Mississippi River Rats on the water, tearing it up. Well, hopefully tearing it up. That's the goal anyway. Sunday, 1K giveaway. And then, what is it, June 11th and 12th? I forget the dates exactly. Rogers right there. Catfishing for kids. Don't forget, tournament's coming up soon. So, guys, thank y'all. God bless. Bon pêcher, everybody. Later.